Dover Motor Speedway is a monster of a racetrack. Exactly 1 mile in length, Dover has some of the most extreme banking, 24 degrees, on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit. Even the straights are banked at 9 degrees. Did we mention Dover is only one of 2 Cup tracks that features concrete pavement the whole way around? Constructed between 1967 and 1969, Dover Motor Speedway was initially paved with asphalt. It wasn't until 1995's comprehensive revamp that the track was paved in concrete, giving Dover's racing surface its distinctive appearance. No matter the pavement, Dover has long been one of the most competitive tracks on the NASCAR schedule. From 1969 through 1980, 21 of the 22 Cup races at Dover Motor Speedway were won by drivers who either had already or would go on to win a championship in NASCAR's Top Series. The names of those winners are part of the fabric of the sport. Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, David Pearson, Cal Yarborough, Old Benny Parsons, and Darrell Waltrip. Allison and Petty ranked first on the all-time win list at Dover with 7 victories apiece. More recently, Jimmy Johnson with 6, Jeff Gordon 4, Mark Martin with 4, and a host of other stock car legends have added their names to the list of Dover winners. A list that also includes names like Scott Sharp and Greg Ray, who each won a race during Dover's cameo appearance on the Indy Racing League calendar in the late 90s. Tonight, it's the Howell Graphics Dover 125, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dover Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, joined in the broadcast booth by special guest Zach Millen. How you doing, Zach?
Hey, Steve. How we doing, man?
Doing well. Thanks for coming out and helping us out here at Dover. I know this place is one of your favorites. I recall a race here maybe a year ago, year plus. I think it might have been the Gen 6 Cup car. You might have put the lap on, I think it was the whole field. Is that correct?
Yeah, that might have happened.
Just might have happened? Don't want to get too deep
Yeah,
into the weeds? Okay.
That was a pretty good race, let's just say that.
Well, let's take a look at the details for tonight as practice just about over. 69-degree ambient temperature, 55% humidity, perfectly clear skies, maybe a cloud here and there. 2-mile-per-hour breeze shouldn't affect these drivers at all. And the track temperature, 105 degrees, likely to get cooler as this race continues on. Take a look at the times here in the practice session. Fastest so far, well, it says the 52 of Friesen. He's not actually here. Let's reload the overlay. Don't know why it's doing that. It's actually Brett Guzik, who was fast last week. His best time, a 22.80. Ed Marshall, second quick. Derek Welch from the NTRL. He's running third in the practice session. His time at 22.91. Brandon Domain, fourth quick. And in fifth, it's Randy Coaching. His time at 22.96. In fact, the same time as the 42 of Winker and the 1 of Blaze. Very close times here in that bracket here within the top 10. A few drivers there all within 1/100th of a second of each other, maybe even less. Going to be a competitive qualifying session, I got to imagine. Chris Goins jumps up into the third spot. New sponsor on board, that number 41. It's Popple. Nobody knows what Popple is. No, it's not those little tiny bears that you turn into a ball. Dating myself there. I don't think anybody even knows what I'm talking about.
Nope.
But Popple is like, it's almost like an air tag, so to speak, but it's designed with the intent to basically relay the information from your social media platforms, your phone number, just with a simple tap. You can tap somebody else's phone and it'll import the information into their phone in just one quick tap. So it's kind of a neat little thing. It's like a digital credit card, or digital business card, I should say. Kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, Steven, unlike the Eric Dotton State Farm sponsor that Chris has had for a while now, this has actually been a pretty good luck sponsor for Chris. He took home the win last week in the NTRL, so I'm going to jump ahead and say Chris Goins for the win tonight.
Already making our picks. We haven't even got qualifying in. All right, you're going to go with Chris Goins, though. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Domain looks like he's going to roll first with the Jordan Brands number 13. So only 125 laps here tonight, which makes it 125 miles. Lap time's pretty quick. We saw that in practice in that low 23 bracket. The race should get done in a hurry, barring any major cautions. Of course, cautions breed cautions. We don't want to see that. We want to see green flag racing from start to finish. We'll see if that happens. Ooh, a little loose out of 2 there, but he kept his foot in it. I'm going to go with Brett Guzik tonight, just FYI.
Yeah, it's a solid pick, too.
.22.873, first lap for Domain. Mike Fahey's back in the mix at 23.19 for his first time high. Not in the 19 anymore, he's running the 9.
Good to see that rascal back behind the wheel.
Doesn't pick up on lap 2, 23.459 for Fahey. Guzik at 23, goes P1, 22.79 on his second lap. He picks up the second time around. He goes faster and goes to the point. Tim Tokarski. 23.34 the first lap, 11th quick. .23.393. Tokarski does not pick up on lap 2. Mitchell Howell, the number 93, to take his first lap. Howell way out of the throttle in the middle of 1 and 2 there. Big time checkup. That's going to hurt the lap. Zach, while we watch qualifying, what is the key to a fast lap around this place? Is it a matter of really backing up your entry and then being able to stay on throttle all the way in the middle of the corner through the exit, or drive it deep into the corner and then have to worry about it from there?
No, you hit the nail on the head, Steve. It's all about your exit, and you got to get off the gas really early and then get back in the gas and stay back in the gas. If you start burping it or letting off, you're just not going to be fast.
Lap 2 for Howell. Picks up a little bit, 23.302. Justin Johnson out of 4, going to complete his second lap. Guzik still with the pole at 22.79. Johnson goes up into the top 10 at 23.069 for the 10. Ed Marshall back on the track, the number 16, first lap at 24.71. Don't know if there was a mistake there or if that's just a throwaway lap. We've seen some guys able to pick up the pace on lap 2, most of them not the case. We'll see if Marshall can speed things up here as he's 22nd on the board for now. Across the line goes P5, 22.900 for Ed Marshall. Good lap. Chris Klein, a top 3 contender last week. 18th on the board for now. Oh, big lift out of 4. Might have scraped the wall. Let's see if this lap counts. It does. It's not faster, though. 23.31. Klein sits 19th for the time being. And Sean Roberts, how's that full send working out for you? Not the greatest. Might have another crack at it here. And that might have been his out lap, so that's okay. We'll try this again.
Yeah. Sean Roberts driving with 1 pedal tonight. Well, technically 2. He's got the clutch, too, but no brake tonight for Sean Roberts. So that'll be something. He's
had some issues as of late. He's had some health-related issues with some sciatic nerve pain. Thinks he's got that squared away, but he's also got a problem with the brake pedal. I think he's waiting on a new load cell for his. But who needs brakes? Brakes are for kittens.
Kittens and losers.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough break for Sean Roberts as the session ends before he can get the lap in.
That man is cursed, man. I want to see some good luck head his way.
Well, we saw him definitely get cursed a little bit in last year's sports car series with LSR. Started the season off great at Daytona, but man, it was just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. Now we're over here in the Lonestar Racing, the Howell Graphics Truck Series. We'll see if he can get some better luck. But let's go look at our starting grid before we get too deep into bad luck. Let's see who is on the pole. It's the 04 of Brett Guzik with a lap time of 22.792. That's getting it around this monster mile. Outside front row with ASR Racing, it's Chris Watkins in the 5. Missed it by half a tenth. Row number 2 in the 3rd spot, it's Brandon Domain in the number 13 machine. Derek Welch will start in row number 2 in the 4th spot. Ed Marshall starts 5th. Jeremy Paris with Speed Clinic Racing. He'll start in P6. Starting 7th, Randy Coaching in the number 19. 8th goes to Chris Goins in the number 41 Popple entry. Kyle Morrison starts in the 9th spot. True Blaze in the 1. He'll start P10. Brian Shepard starts 11th. Justin Johnson rolls from the 12th position. 13th starter David Dufour, the number 22. Dominic Rossi starts 14th. 15th starter is Kevin Grettenberger. 16th, good old Mike Fahey. Good to see him back in the 9. 17th starter PJ Cox. Scott Beardmore rolls 18th. 19th starter is Chris Klein. Dan Storm 20th. Mitchell Howell with Warhawk Motorsports starting 21st. Tim Tokarski, the number 52, starts 22nd. Last week's winner, Kevin Winker, starts 23rd. Tim Stubblefield, 24th. Sean Roberts in the Shenandoah Shine, number 66, 25th. Ken Blackburn, 26th. Jonathan Arnn in the Petty Blue, number 43, starting 27th and shotgun on the field. It's your starting grid here from Dover Motor Speedway as the field just about ready to roll onto their first pace lap. All right, so we got our picks out of the way. I picked Guzik, right? Is that accurate?
Yes.
And you went with our
Chris
boy Gonzi?
Goans.
All right, Chris
Yeah.
Goans, as good old Eric Dotson would say.
Gotta keep it alive, that's all.
Once again, race details for tonight. 125 laps around this monster mile. We're going to go an extra lap of yellow before we take the green, so no rush. 69 degrees, 55% humidity, still clear skies, and almost no breeze. And as we kind of predicted and expected, the track temperature is starting to come down, just 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice and cool. Yeah, 100 degrees is nice and warm, but as far as these race trucks and those Goodyear Racing Eagles are concerned, 100 degrees, we can get by with that. And again, it continues to fall as we get later into the day. No lights here at Dover, but it's the summertime. We can go a little bit later.
Yeah, we can make it. It's no big deal.
Couple of guys in the stream chat. Let's see. We got Tower Operator saying Winker Nation. Brett Winker, the same. Ken Couch. Go get him, Fahey. I guess Ken Couch not able to make it tonight. He's stuck in Dallas. I can think of worse places to be. Good old Rochester, New York.
Rochester, California. Yeah.
Rochester. That's where I'm at right now. Rochester, New York.
I can hear it in the background.
Yeah. You gunfire?
Gunfire and yelling and screaming and pillaging.
Tell you, looking at Brett Guzik in the 04 here, he's got plenty of room for some sponsors on that machine if anybody's interested. I'm sure your logo would look really nice on the side of that 04 machine as he leads the field to green here in about a half a lap.
Yeah, it is the right color too, isn't it? I might have to PM.
It's even got the primer gray still on it. He's begging for a sponsor.
It's ready to go.
Man, Jonathan Arnn, he's not always a front runner, man, but he wins best paint scheme every week in that Petty Blue number 43.
Yeah, it does stick out, doesn't it?
And it's not just the Richard Petty paint scheme. He's got Lonestar Racing on the
Green
back.
flag.
Pace car's off, green flag in the air. We're racing from Dover Motor Speedway. Somebody got a piece of the wall. They all keep it together. Guzik out to the early lead. 0.4 of a second over the 13 of Brandon Tilmaine. Slow car down low. I think it might have been Dan Storm. Indeed, it was. The number 81. Not sure the issue if he had to start from the pits, jump to the pits, but either way, connection issues likely what's plaguing him at this point. But man, guy's going three wide to go around, splitting the uprights. He goes around. Oh boy.
What a roadblock that created. It was terrible timing.
He's trying to get his bearings back. Guzik out with a half-second advantage. Domain under pressure from Chris Watkins. Oh, slips a little bit up the racetrack. Opens the door for the 5 down to turn 3 and 4. Goes to the bottom, does Chris Watkins. Takes the second spot here. 4 laps already down. Visually, it almost looked like they were catching Guzik there, but the deficit still 4 to 5 tenths. Oh, big gain, though, in 3 and 4. I don't know if Guzik had a moment there in the middle of the corner, but he gave up a whole tenth.
Yeah, he might have pushed up just a little bit, but yeah, they definitely caught him there pretty quick.
Didn't take long.
Pretty much to 0.
Yeah, he's there now. Is there a better sound?
No. Well, yes.
Porsche RSR.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yep, you're in my head.
Guzik maintaining the top spot over Chris Watkins, but it's not by much. I believe Watkins is a bit faster. In fact, indeed he is. Last lap, well, he was faster. Now they both run identical lap times. A 23:46 for the top two. Watkins seems to have the pace. think his lap time was only limited by the fact that he had a truck in front of him. Top three under a blanket down the backstretch. Guzik still leads. Watkins running in second. Domain hanging on to P3. Got Tommy Welch in the stream chat. Let's go NTR crew. Welch, Klein, Winker, and Stubbs. Remember, Winker won last week.
Yeah, that was a good showing for the NTG guys over there. I think they had first and third.
Winker running back in the 24th spot currently. Checking on Derek Welch back in the 6th position. He's lost a couple of spots since the drop of the green flag. He's got Chris Goins on the attack currently. Chris Goins out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Big run out of 2, almost contact into 3.
Fear the beard, Steve. I like that.
Fear the beard. No, almost gets into the back of Derek Welch.
Man, Chris Goins isn't fearing the beard, that's for sure.
Big checkup from the 1. Now, again, I have to attribute that to the fact that Chris Goins runs in VR, and it really gives you precision viewing of where your truck is in relation to the next guy in front of you. You can see it a whole lot better in virtual reality versus looking at a big monitor or even a set of triples. Those are all nice, but I think VR really is the way to go. I can't handle it, but the guys that can, it always improves them, and Chris Goins certainly has gotten faster since making the switch.
Yeah, it was night and day for Chris Goins, man. As soon as he got onto the VR train, it's been noticeable.
19 gets a piece of the wall. That's Randy coaching out of turn, I think that was out of turn 4. I can't tell now. Yeah, it was turn 4. Pretty symmetrical racetrack. You got to see some landmarks to figure it out. Welch gets loose.
That was a big hit to the wall.
Drew Blaze up a spot, running in the 9th position ahead of Ed Marshall. Marshall's down 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. Guzik maintaining the top spot, but the battle's picking up here. Marshall and Blaze going at it, but a caution on the Speedway. Not sure what has triggered this. I don't know. Oh, big trouble in the backstretch. There it is.
Racing or something, you know?
Kyle Landon Morrison in trouble. Dave Dufour, Jonathan Arnn may have also taken a piece of that one. Very strange. Caution came out, and I had no indication as to where on the racetrack it was until quite late. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Eventually. There we go. Full speed here. It's the 12 of Morrison. Oh, it was the 22 that was around first.
That was a big hit.
That's David Dufour out of Canada. Let's get a look at it from that perspective. Oh, it's off the nose of Chris Klein. We'll back it up, get a better view yet again. And I want to go on board with Chris Klein here and watch it from his roof cam. We'll slow it down to quarter speed and see how this appears. My initial impression is the 22 might have come down. Let me know your thoughts, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Chris is there, but maybe the 22 just wasn't aware of it. Definitely came across the nose.
Chris was definitely there. He had left sides almost below the concrete there into the blacktop. 22 still comes down.
Chris is a super clean racer, too. You can see him going low as he possibly could to avoid contact.
22
but
catches
unfortunately,
Chris Klein in the right side, though. That's going to hurt the side force on Klein's truck. But then these guys just barrel in and just drill him.
Oh, man, it's the worst spot, too.
This place is so fast, too. I can't even blame the 12. You're moving so fast around here with the banking at 24 degrees, 9 on the straightaways. You're in the gas a lot. It takes a whole lot to woe these trucks down.
Yeah, and coming off 2 right there, even just getting on the brakes, the truck kicks sideways on you.
Not much you can do about it. It is what it is. First caution of the night. 19 laps in, though.
So, 19 laps in, Steve. I believe they had 4 sets of tires total, so 3 over the wall, plus the one on the truck.
Yep, 3 sets over the wall, 45% fuel load, so you may see some guys gamble and come down anyway. It is early enough, kind of maybe put themselves off cycle a bit. They do have 1 fast repair, so for those involved, if they're able to make it back to the pits under their own power, they can at least burn that fast repair. Granted, it's early, but you're kind of left without a choice at this point.
Yeah, you kind of got to use it.
Does appear that everybody took the opportunity to pit. It does seem like, as we mentioned, it's going to be fuel only for just about everybody. That is the case back to P12. It looks like Randy Coaching may have taken 4 tires. It was a 14.67 second stop versus everybody else's 6 to 7 second stops. Kevin Grettenberger might have taken tires as well at 15 seconds. Then you got Ken Blackburn, Jonathan Arnn, those drivers likely involved in that incident. So that's more likely just repair time. Those with just a little bit of damage maybe opting not to use that fast repair just yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, at a track like this, Steve, cautions breed more cautions, so we might not be done here.
Well, you know, we started off the race 2x2. We made it 21 laps. Well, 21, let's say 18 laps, but nevertheless, we didn't get a caution right away. I'm confident they can make this work.
Like to see it.
I guess the only caveat to that is these tires have, well, 20 laps on them. Most of the drivers didn't take any. So with that said, you gotta worry about the dreaded wheel spin on the restart.
Yeah, that's probably the worst part of this whole thing. It's going to be fun to watch right here.
Pace car is off.
Green flag.
Green flag is in the air. We're back racing. No caution right off the bat, so that's a good sign, and Guzik out to a big advantage, almost a full second over second place running Brandon Domain. Battle shaping up behind them as Jeremy Paris and Chris Watkins come into the frame. Paris is going to be a one to watch. Again, him coming from the Speed Clinic Racing Group, those guys have been known to be quite fast. Remember guys like David Bradford, Channing Ballou, and the like. Those guys are fast. We'll see if he can pick up the pace here and put the challenge on to Brett Guzik here later on in this race with 101 laps to go. Now, Zach, you've got some time racing with Jeremy Paris, and while David Bradford, Channing Blue, and the others, those Speed Clinic guys, what's your take on their ability levels?
Yeah, just every one of them is fast. You know, and if you get them together on a racetrack, they work really well together. They'll pull away from you. If you're not fast enough to keep up, it's insane. It's they're just mistake-free drivers.
Not just mistake-free, but they're also very smart and calculating. They understand the inner workings of the race vehicle that they are in, as far as what's good for the truck, what's bad for the truck, what's good for the tires, what saves tires without sacrificing speed. That's where those guys will really bite you. Is they'll come in there late in the run, you've burned up all your stuff, and they'll put a tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 seconds in some cases on you like it's nothing, because they were able to save their stuff without sacrificing lap time.
Yeah, when you get somebody like those guys out there, they're running 10 faster than you every lap, but they're saving way more than you. I mean, that's pretty insane.
Paris still running in that third spot. He's got to catch Brandon Domain if he wants to start and reel in Brett Guzik. But speaking of reeling in Brett Guzik, Brandon Domain has done just that. It was almost a full second after the restart. It's now down to half that. 0.4 of a second the advantage for the 04 as Domain continues to try and track down the race leader. Let's check in with Sean Roberts here again. New paint scheme on that machine. Looks like it says Lehigh Valley Grand Prix. Is that what I'm reading correctly? We talked about Sean's bad luck. Continued into qualifying, and yes, it does say Lehigh Valley Grand Prix. He's having a good run so far, though, up 8 positions. Full send working out nicely so far. And Ken Couch in the stream chat says, limited tires has changed strategy for everyone this year. 3 sets over the wall at Dover, though, that's pretty manageable. Especially when you factor in the fact that you're likely to get at least a couple of cautions to stretch out one of those sets.
Yeah, it definitely makes the race interesting. You know, if you come down 20 laps in for tires, you're really going to be kicking yourself 100 laps later.
Yeah, you really can't bolt them on real early unless you get lucky enough to have a couple of cautions later on to stretch them a little bit further. But you're going to give up a lot of pace if you do that. You look at the fall off right now. Guzik, one of the fastest drivers out there at the moment. His best lap this afternoon, a 22.90. His last lap, a 24.44. So yes, there is a lot of fall off as we've only got, well, not even 30 laps on this set of tires, because you do have one caution factored into that.
It's fall off you notice immediately too. I mean, you're turning the wheel and this place is super tough on tires, and the thing just drifts up the track on you. And coming off these corners with that little hump at the end of the corners, it's pretty hairy to not hit the wall.
It's a tough place to get around. I mean, the track surface being as abrasive as it is. If you've never been to Dover and you ever do go, you get the chance to at least put your feet on the racing surface. It's very much akin to, well, I would say an airport runway. It's not slick at all. It's extremely abrasive. It's like, I don't know, 40 grit sandpaper, if not worse, but it does rubber in. The problem is under the caution flags, usually, at least in the real world, I don't think it happens in the sim, the slow moving trucks or cars will start to pick up that rubber, and it picks it right back off, and then your restart comes around and you've got to lay it all back down. So very consistently changing conditions here at Dover throughout the run. It's Chris Goins in a battle here with Jeremy Paris. Alongside goes to the bottom again. I know Chris has got pace. He's definitely quick. But every time I see someone pass one of these Speed Clinic guys, I just gotta wonder why. Is it because Chris is that much faster, or is just Jeremy saving his stuff?
Yeah, you just never know. I mean, we'll know in maybe 20 or 30 laps.
Taking a look at it, Jeremy's last lap, 24:75. He's not too far off the race leader's 24:67. But interestingly enough, Domain and Chris Goins both running faster than Brett Guzik, at least for the time being.
Yeah, and I mean, that was with Chris passing someone as well, so be on the lookout for that 41 coming.
Chris Watkins has slipped back to the 6th position. He's 4 spots down from the start of this race. 88 machine of Brian Shepard. He's going to make this pass on Paris as well as they work out of turn number 2. Meanwhile, Guzik has stretched his advantage once again to just over half a second.
You know, it's one of the hardest tracks to keep running that high line while being passed and not getting to that wall.
Well, it's so tempting just to, you get 3/4 of the way through that 2nd or 4th corner and you're like, oh yeah, I'm good, I can keep my foot down. Then all of a sudden that wall starts getting closer and closer and closer and you're like, oh, I'm not good, I gotta lift. But the temptation to not lift is always there. You know, you've got to try and catch up to these guys or maintain your position, defend your position, whatever it may be. But as race drivers, you got to find a way to turn that off. You got to decide, all right, I got to lift or I'm going to wad up the right side of this truck. Paris continues to fall back, though. Chris Watkins putting the pressure on down into turn 3. He's to the inside. Guzik has picked up the pace once again, a 1.1 second advantage over Brandon Domain. No battle for the lead at the moment. 24:60. Go ahead, Zach.
That tells me Brett's probably managing his tires a little bit better than some. You know, he let second place kind of close back in a little bit because maybe he's saving his stuff, cooling his tires down, and then stretches it back out. It seems like anytime you want.
Yeah, you almost got to wonder if Brett's just feeling his stuff out. Like you said, Zach, I've been cooling his stuff down. All right, I've let them get close enough. Let's see if I really push here. Do I still have the pace that I should have? All right, there's a good lap. But he's still running 24.6s each time by. Domain's at 24.76. Grettenberger now into P3, 24.98. Well, 44 laps in, we haven't taken a break yet. It's time. We're going to go to it. HBR TV side by side. Stay with us. You won't miss a minute. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Caution. How was your forward drive there towards the end of that little run we just did?
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, caution coming out during the side-by-side. We're back at it, lap 50 in the books. Looks like the incident was between Sean Roberts and Derek Welch. Bad luck continuing for the 66. Derek Welch not looking too good either. I don't know if he had a toe. Well, let's get a look at it. Timely, oh, big impact. Glad we're in the sim, that would have hurt.
Ooh.
Oh, and the 22 comes in late and gets him in the door. Back it up a little further and see how it went down. It looks like Roberts might have just got a piece of the wall. Slow it down here. This is coming out of turn 2. We talked about the the desire to not lift, and that's what that was. He knew he had Welch to his inside. Didn't want to give up the spot. Oh, man.
Just a huge hit.
Again, the straightaway's being banked at 9 degrees. Self-cleaning racetrack. That happens. Pit stop's underway. Just about complete for that matter.
Definitely tire time.
Mitchell Howell, the number 93. It is the Howell Graphics Truck Series. I got to imagine that Mitchell Howell is affiliated. So, through that cycle, Kevin Grettenberger, Randy Coaching, I think those drivers took tires on their first stop, so this is going to be really interesting. So they did not take tires this time. They went with fuel only, which I can kind of see the strategy for that. Maybe not so much here at about lap 51. If it was 15 laps to go, I could say, all right, give it a shot. But we talked about the lap time fall off and how significant that was, being that the fast lap of the day was under 23 seconds. When we were seeing over a second and a half, almost 2 seconds of fall off throughout the run, this restart could be a little scary.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad. I mean, it's just such a huge fall off. I'm thinking Brett's probably going to get past these guys in a lap and a half at most.
I think it's going to be turn 1.
Probably.
Honest to God, and I'm not picking on Grettenberger or Coaching. I just think the tire advantage is that significant. I think Brett's going to have a time not running over those two as soon as the green flag drops. He's going to be able to put the power down where those two have to be ginger on the throttle as to not spin the tires.
Matter of fact, let's do a dollar bet. I'm going to take turn 3.
Dollar bets, you're not in town anymore. I can't even pay up.
Exactly. Like having that tab build up.
There you go.
I got to come back in a week anyway, so we might as well build it up.
Well, I'll see you Saturday next week.
Oh, that's true.
No luck getting the rest of that time off, huh?
No, not yet. Not yet. Still stuck with Friday.
Those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, we're headed to Watkins Glen for the Cup race next week. So with that said, there's not going to be a broadcast next Thursday. I haven't necessarily worked out the details with the league as far as a rebroadcast is concerned. We might just forego it for now, but we're happy to rebroadcast it. Just got to get a copy of that replay. If that's the case, we'll do it. Ken Couch says, tires are huge. They will get eaten up. Well, I think they're only 15-inch, but yeah, I get it. They're big. It's just one of those days, Ken. But we know what you mean. I think Fox and NBC should have a stream chat.
Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be a game changer, wouldn't it?
They don't have to use it. I mean, we don't use it all the time as far as commenting, but we try, especially when the fans are engaged. LSR is usually pretty good about having a bunch of stream chatters. That's a plus that we do appreciate, but back to the racing. Pace car is off. Let's try it again.
Green flag.
Barty with the green. He's waving it. We're back racing. Oh, some guys slipping and sliding. 2.
So, do we split the dollar?
Well, I'll have to go back and watch a replay to confirm, but yeah, he definitely got there. He had it for
Beautiful.
sure at that point. It's hard to tell. Grettenbergers went from the front row back to the 5th position already. So did Coaching in 6th. Guzik back out front. Brandon Domain, Chris Watkins. It's a replay of lap 1.
Boy, every restart you see some trucks piling into that wall off too.
You know, everybody talks about getting your Darlington stripe. There's got to be something here for Dover, because the same thing happens. It just happens much more abruptly. Darlington, you run the wall the whole time, but here you just approach it in such a hurry, and you almost look at the straightaway, it almost bows in.
It does, yeah. Yeah, I usually hit the wall every time going into the corner for the same reason.
That Domain's right there on the back bumper. Reading the Toyota tailgate. Nice and clear for the number 13. Taking a look, nothing doing. Domain looking strong here on fresh tires. Wants to get that Jordan Brands number 13 out to the point, lead some laps, get those valuable bonus points.
Watch this, Steve. See him go high, he's going to get the runoff 2 here, and he's going to dive it into 3.
Got a nose alongside, and here it is. Still alongside. Guzik up the racetrack, Domain to the bottom. Guzik still fighting hard. Does he lift out of 4? No, he does not. Big run for Guzik. Defends the spot for now. Domain trying to take a peek back to the bottom. Can't keep it there. Slides it up. Almost gets into the 04. Domain not giving up. I'll tell you though, Domain may come to regret this though, because he is just melting that right front tire trying to get around the 04. I know it's tempting. You've got the speed, you've got the pace to do it. You just got to get it done, but you can't do it in a couple of laps. You kind of have to give it up and just tuck back in behind. You can't keep running side by side like this. You'll end up 10th or 11th before the end of the run.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of wheel into the thing coming off these turns.
Not to mention the heat that he's adding to the tires. Even if he doesn't wear them out, he's going to really sacrifice a lot of that grip. Lap time's pretty close, 0.03 of a second between the two of them. Chris Watkins, though, he's going to try and take advantage. He just watched that happen for 4 or 5 laps, and he's thinking, you know, those guys probably got their tires pretty hot. Chris, a little bit of a lift off of turn 4, though. He loses the back of Domain. Domain's going to try to go topside here. Risky move. Great battle for position here at Dover. Close to making contact there. There's some contact, little push. Might have sent Guzik up the racetrack. Domain a little bit frustrated here. He knows he's got to go because now he's got the 88 of Brian Shepard breathing down his neck. He's like, come on, man, you're holding me up. Nice touch, though. Just a tiny bit of contact. Doesn't spin out the 04. Just says, hey, man, I'm here. That's the first one. We'll see what happens again into turn 3.
Yeah, that was the warning. It only escalates from that point.
First one's I'm here. The second one is I want to get by. And the third one usually ends up in the fence. Great battle for the lead here at Dover. Lap 65. Now working down the back straightaway once again. The top 4. You could throw a blanket under all 4 of them. Okay, it'd be a big blanket, but you could still do it. Looking low once again. Oh, side by side contact. Domain had to lift. Oh, and contact.
Oh, no.
Domain gets the wall.
Oh, that's all it takes. No caution.
Now he's not in the way. He gets away with it. Very rare to have that type of situation happen here at Dover Motor Speedway, and it doesn't bring out the yellow, but that unfortunately for Brandon is going to be the case. He's definitely got some left front damage on that machine. Tough break.
Yeah, that thing is torched. I mean, he's really just got to roll it down, grab the fast repair, get back out as quick as he can. Unfortunately, he's going to be going at least a lap down here, easily.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. He's going to need a couple of yellows, I think, just to get back on the lead lap, which is a shame because he had a lot of pace. Certainly a contender for the win here tonight. Just past halfway, though, his chances of a victory likely out the window.
Steve, if he can get out quick enough to be just one lap down, he could be in that lucky dog spot here.
And he's going to take
Sean
tires,
Roberts.
so I don't know. I don't think it's
No.
Guzik coming out of turn 4 right now.
Yeah, that sealed it, didn't it?
But Guzik just going by into 1 and 2. Domain leaving right now. We still got to worry about the blend line out of turn 2. But with Domain taking tires, now he's probably only got one set left at this point. He's really going to have to stretch this out. But this will keep him in good shape because he's going to be fast comparatively. Definitely burned up his tires in that battle with Guzik. I don't know. It's a tall order.
Tough.
We'll see what happens.
It's a big ask, but we'll see.
It's a big what?
Definitely ask.
Chris Watkins taking the second spot from Shepard here. Shepard trying to battle back. No, that's the 22 going to the top side. Brett Guzik getting into some lap traffic currently. Approaching the number 81 machine. It's Dan Storm. Give a call to Mike Fahey here, running in the 12th spot. He's up 4 positions. A little bit of right side damage to that truck, but not too terrible.
Yeah, it's good to see him back out here on track, isn't it?
Always like racing with Mike Fahey. It's good to have in any series that you're in. Usually pretty clean.
Yep, really clean and a damn good painter, too.
Yeah, Fahey Race Wraps, the company that he has founded. If you're looking for an iRacing paint, good place to source one.
Just make sure you order your truck without any eggplants, that's all.
Yeah, no eggplants. Justin Johnson in the 11th position. He's up 1 spot. Check on Chris Goins, your pick for the win here tonight. Currently just outside the top 5. See Brandon Domain working to the inside of Drew Blaze. Again, not for position, but this is Chris Goin now taking a peek. Blaze shuts the door out of 2. Oh, a little loose on corner exit. Blaze almost making contact with the 81. Jones maintains the 6th position. Blaze starts to get away.
Blaze still rocking the no bull banner.
You know, I noticed that in the last race. He had a different paint scheme, but yeah, still a noble window brow. I don't know if that's a little foreshadowing to the possible next season of the Noble Racing Series. Had some laps over in Noble. I don't know if he ran the full schedule or not, but he was certainly a contender for a little while. Ken Couch in the stream chat says, my logo looks awesome on Fahey's hood. Let's take a better look at it.
Hey, yeah, it does.
Ken's Satellite and Potable Water Hauling, LLC. All right, Ken. Well, there you go. There's your plug.
Looks good, Ken.
Always got to shout out to the sponsors. Anybody who wants to get involved. I know it's a simulation. I know it's just a game, but it's a simulation. But there are some true, legitimate sponsors here in iRacing, even for us common folk. They may not be big-time sponsors, but I've been known to sponsor a driver or two for $15 here, $20 there.
Yeah, I mean, you get pretty darn good coverage, you know. You get your logo out in a truck, and that truck runs a full schedule. I mean, it's pretty neat.
PJ Cox in the pit lane. Got Jessica Stubblefield in the stream chat saying, come on, Stubbs, push up there. Again, for those that don't know, Jessica was our 600th subscriber here at HBR TV. Since then, we've added about 12 more. We had to bag a little bit, but she did it. Stub Racing, Stub Nation, number 92. Good looking paint.
Good look. Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. That's a good looking truck. Stub Nation.
While this goes down, some pit stops underway. Ryan Shepard, Mitchell Howell. Oh my goodness. Howell comes to a stop in his pit box. Brett Guzik, the race leader, comes down, gives up the race lead for the first time today, under green flag conditions at least.
Yeah, that will force a lot of hands here, Steve, I think.
Guzik into his pit box, nice and easy. Drew Blaze takes over the top spot in the meantime. Guzik drops the jack, 4 tires and fuel for the 04. Might be his last stop. I don't know if they can make it all the way on a 45% load, though. We'll see.
I think it'd be pretty close.
The green flag came out, I think it was like lap 51, 53 in that range. So they've gone 30 laps. I don't know if they've gone to the full distance of the fuel cell.
You can really save a lot of gas here, too, though.
Drew Blaze comes down pit road. Winker goes to the point, last week's winner.
I'm going to say that one truck is somebody who can definitely save gas at this place.
Yeah, Drew Blaze certainly has pace just about everywhere we go, but he's very good in the strategy department as well, as far as tire strategy, tire savings, fuel savings. Finding a different line that works better for him throughout the course of a run, that really is attributed to his dirt background. Still on the track. His pit stop came at lap 50, so I guess this might be the litmus test here to see how far Winker goes before coming down pit lane. He's got a lap to himself. He'd be foolish to try and pit unless he absolutely has to. And here he comes. Oh, he thinks better of it. Or does he? Maybe he just missed the entry. Lucky for him, he's got a lap to himself. But does he have enough fuel to make it back around? I guess that's the other question.
Boy, yeah, I don't know.
It's well off the pace.
Oh, he's coasting.
So I guess that answers that.
He's going to be able to make it, but he's going to lose so much time in track position here. It's going to be awful.
38 laps might be the maximum distance he can go on a load of fuel unless you're really doing a good job saving. He is way off the pace.
So you could stretch it that extra 2 laps pretty easy. It could be done.
'52 of Tim Tokarski also coming down pit lane. His truck's not even running, Zach. He's coasting.
Yeah, she's dead.
Made it back, though. Don't overdrive it.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one time you don't want to overshoot that box.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
So last week's winner having an issue trying to get to pit road, trying to get all he could coming down to pit lane, just didn't get her load down enough. Did a great job dumping it back out on the racetrack to avoid making contact with that pit wall abutment. Those barrels there usually filled with either water or sand. Meanwhile, Brett Gusick has retaken the top spot in typical Zach Millett fashion through the cycle of pit stops, gains 3.5 seconds on second place.
Hey, all right. I love to see it.
Well, look who's up to second, though. It's the 24, Jeremy Paris. Yeah, don't count that 24 out. He's been relatively quiet, keeping minding his own business. Doing a good job. And as I look at this race truck, it looks like he's got a Ryko logo on the side of that thing. Weren't those guys with Reaper Speed Lab for a while?
Yes, they were.
Interesting. Investigative work to be done before next week.
Absolutely.
So we're 94 laps in, a little late for a break once again, but we waited for the pit cycle to finish up. We're going to do our final HBR TV side-by-side break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Dover, it seems like HBR TV's the bad luck charm for the yellow flag. Lap 97 working our third caution of the afternoon. Let's take a look here and see exactly what happened. Looks like the 22 might have been involved in this one again. Justin Johnson Chris Klein just runs him over. The 22, though, way off the pace and right in the racing groove. I don't know what the situation there was. Let's go on board and listen. Oh, yeah, he was just, I don't know if he blew a right front tire. He might have lost the right front because you see him, he just went hard left in the exit of the corner.
Yeah, he had Justin Johnson there on the high side, and I think he just wanted to try to give him room. You see him putting a lot of wheel in it, but you put that much wheel in it, it just doesn't help anymore.
Let's watch it from Chris Klein's perspective. I know hindsight's 20/20, but you see a guy that slow in front of you. I know you're battling for position, but you got to lift more than that. You can't just plow into the guy like that.
Well, you hope he's got a faster pair, because I mean, just looking at the tack there after the contact, he definitely had engine damage.
Yeah, and it's not to say that, sorry, Chris Klein, you wrecked the 22, but no, it's, yeah, you hit the 22, but you hurt your truck. You hurt yourself. Live to fight another day. You're going to have to sacrifice that one. Yeah, he was right in the way, and he was way off pace, and the closing rates are what they are, but even on the onboard, you could really see how fast he was closing in, and you heard him lift. He got out of the throttle, but then got back in it on exit, and then still hit him. Might have been expecting the 22 to drop down to the inside, but you saw he had a whole bunch of left turn into that thing, and it wasn't moving.
Yeah, you almost have to like expect the slow truck to be in the way. Don't ever think he's going to get out of the way for you.
Well, I think this puts everybody into their pit window. You saw Brett Guzik come down pit lane. He wasn't the only one, though. Lead lap-wise, it seems like everybody back to 11th took the opportunity just for fuel only, so we may have a real race all the way to the finish here. So we're going to come down to tire conservation. Guzik's pit stop only 6 seconds, so no tires for the 04. Chris Goins is going to restart to his outside. Then behind them, it's going to be the 5 of Watkins and the 88 of Shepard.
So are these guys out of tires by this point, or do you think somebody deeper in the field maybe took their set?
Well, as Chad says, we're out of tires.
I tell you, if this race goes green and you're in 10th place, 11th place with new tires, you're going to be like Superman here.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I meant to say, we're out of tires.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it. I've never used it in a broadcast. I figure I use it at least once. But
I thought you forgot you had it.
I don't know. I think Brett, he's made 4 stops. All right, so he's made 4 stops. His first stop we know for sure was fuel only, right? Is that correct?
Right.
You remember that?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right,
fuel
so
only
he still
and a
has a set then. If yellow comes out here in, I don't know, the next 27 laps, 26 laps, he could duck down and take a set. We'll see what happens. Pace car down. Waiting for Barney to wave the green flag. He does in the restart zone. Guzik with a great jump. Second spot. Watkins driving to the bottom there. Jeremy Paris trying to give him the push down into the corner. Gotta make note, Chris Watkins. Does he know Chris Goins?
Maybe.
Remember, Chris Goins used to run that Barbie paint scheme. We got Chris Watkins here with Elsa and Frozen all over that machine.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. I remember that.
That's back in the day. Paris takes the spot from Goins, so does Watkins. So your top 3, Guzik, Watkins, Paris. Then it's Goins, then it's Blaze. Fahey up into the 6th position. So far, a strong run for the 9. Guzik a half second out in front. Here comes Paris. Got the afterburners turned way up. We've got 2 pretty plain-looking trucks leading the field. We got Guzik in primer gray. We've got Jeremy Paris in a gloss black with 1 Ryko sticker on it.
And then we got 2 Fahey race wraps in 4th place and 5th place. Nice to see Mike Fahey.
Battle for the lead. Paris goes to the point. Guzik up the racetrack, doesn't even fight it. New leader, 22 laps to go. Jeremy Paris to the point, puts 3/10 on the 04. Watkins takes the spot. Man, I don't know what's going on here with Guzik. He seems strong even on old tires at every point tonight, but it's going away in a hurry.
See any damage on that truck?
I almost wonder if he's like, I don't want to be the leader if we get a caution, so he can watch what everybody else does, rather than him take the opportunity to hit pit lane and everybody stays out if we get a late yellow.
Yeah, that is the worst feeling.
Blaze now underneath the 5 of Watkins. He goes up the racetrack. Fahey's going to follow the 1 on through. 20 laps to go here from Dover. Fahey finds himself within the top 3 here late in the going at Dover Motor Speedway. 19 to go. Fahey definitely a fan of this racetrack. Definitely got a good mentor out in front of him, Drew Blaze. A great one to follow and learn from. Been racing together for quite some time. Now this does make a lot of sense though if you look at the pit stops. At lap 96, of course, a lot of drivers did come down pit road to top off the tanks. But guys like Paris, Blaze, and Fahey, they took their last set of tires.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens.
Now, the pit stops all within the 14 to 15 second range for all 3 of those drivers, and given their pace out on the speedway, it does make a lot of sense. Guzik has slipped now back to the 6th position, which is interesting because Watkins and Gones also fuel only.
These guys just begging for a caution at this point.
That really would make the difference, but we'll see how it pans out. Again, Guzik was the dominant truck all night long. This continues to stay green. We've only had a few yellows tonight. I think the decision to go fuel only might end up biting the 04. Justin Johnson trying to make short work of the number 16. Edward Marshall. Marshall not on the lead lap.
Putting up a pretty big fight. Ooh, was. Hand kicked the side of that truck.
Justin Johnson gets clear. Now he sets his sights on the 88 of Brian Shepard. 14 laps to go here from Dover Motor Speedway. Guzik making a move. Trying to take the spot back from Watkins. He got the one from Gones. Big push from Chris Gones down the main straightaway. Paris continuing to drive away. 0.6 of a second over Drew Blaze. Great battle on the racetrack between the 5 and the 04.
The 04 and the 41 here really hoping for a commercial day. Get that caution.
I mean, we can pretend to go to break, but
never know.
Guzik finally clears the 5. Now Gones trying to do the same once again. Moving back towards the front. Justin Johnson also going to try and follow Gones on through. BJ Cox having a strong run. Haven't talked much about him today. He's up into the top 10.
That's good to see. It's good to see some good luck out there, PJ here.
Last week's winner, Kevin Winker, so far the biggest mover on the racetrack, up 13 spots. The same can be said, though, for Mike Fahey, so we might have a tie for the hard charger here. Winker started in the 23rd spot here today, runs 10. Checking out front once again, Drew Blaze starting to chip away at the advantage of the 24.
This is the no bull race all over again.
Right?
I'm getting flashbacks.
9 laps to go from Dover. Will the Monster Mile claim another truck before this one is over? We got 8 laps to go to find out. Jeremy Paris, can he hold off the one of Drew Blaze? Blaze started relatively deep in the field comparative to where he's used to running. Started in the 10th spot. Blaze spinning the back tires on a turn 4. Oh, gets the bottom of the racetrack, has to lift, slides up the racetrack.
Oh, he touched that apron. He touched that apron though. In either one of these corners, it just boots your truck towards that wall.
Oh!
He's sending it.
Drew Blaze giving it all that truck can handle right now here with less than 5 laps to go. Paris out of turn 2, the advantage starting to grow once again. It's a half-second plus back to the one of Blaze. Fahey still maintaining the 3rd spot. No real pressure out the back. Justin Johnson has worked his way up into 4th. Justin also took tires on his pit stop, so it seems to me that the tire choice making all the difference here late in the going at Dover. Less than 4 laps to go. PJ Cox, he also took 4 tires. He's might have a chance here at Brett Guzik as this race continues on. I'm not 100% sure, but he's got about 3/4 of a second advantage over the 05. But again, he does have fresher tires, and we talked about that tire fall off. The last lap, Guzik and PJ ran almost identical laps. This time, actually, Guzik ran a faster lap by about a 10th. Back out front, Paris continuing to drive away from Drew Blaze. It's now 3/4 of a second with 2 laps to go. Mitchell Howell in the lap truck. Likely fresh tires. He's going to go all around.
And a horrible time in there for Drew Blaze to have a lap truck have to get around him. But
I think Drew burned up his stuff trying to get by or trying to catch Jeremy Paris as he crosses the stripe for the final time. 1 lap to go for the number 24. Jeremy started in the 6th spot today, and we talked about him a lot. Don't let him fool you. He's a strategy genius. He knows what this truck is capable of, knows that he's got the pace when it matters. Off of turn number 4, Jeremy Paris looking for a checkered flag, and he's going to win the Howell Graphics Dover 125. Drew Blaze 2nd, Mike Fahey a solid top 3, Justin Johnson 4th, Brett Guzik settles for P5 after being dominant early.
Mike Fahey with a top 3. Let's go.
Hasn't lost much since his brief hiatus.
Right back on the horse, Fahey. Nicely done.
Jeremy doing his donuts celebration here at the start-finish line. Well earned. We're going to jump out, take our final break. No more cautions to worry about. We'll be back with our top 3 after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, Jeremy Paris locking in the race win here in the Howell Graphics Dover 125. Pull the driver, that number 24, up into the broadcast booth. Get a word with our race winner, Jeremy Paris, at Steve and Zach in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you going, Steve?
We're doing good, Jeremy. Again, congratulations. Long time no talk. You took the restart here. I think you were about 4th or 5th and then started to cut your way through this field. Some drivers that were quick early, dominant really, didn't take tires on that final stop, and the top 4 did. What was the decision-making process like to decide to take that final set?
I mean, you just had to go one way or the other and stick with it. If we'd had a caution late there, we would have been sitting ducks. So just everything fell right, and we pulled off the win.
Well, there is a casino off the backstretch, so maybe you play your luck at the tables tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Well, Jeremy, again, nice run. I can't help but notice the Ryko sticker on that truck. Weren't you guys, was it Reaper Speed Lab at a time? Now it's Ryko?
I never was with Reaper. But yeah, we've moved on to a little bit different things now.
Well, good to hear it again. A strong run here at Dover, a great win. We saw it shaping up early in the race. I said to Zach, I said, keep an eye on this 24. He's a little off pace now, but it's probably by design. He'll be there at the finish, and sure enough, you were.
Yeah, that's the only lap that pays.
Well, congratulations on that. Next week, we roll into Chicagoland. Obviously a different style racetrack entirely, but a place that I feel that you're going to have some pace. How do you feel about your chances next week?
Yeah, we're going to try to put it 2 for 2.
All right, Jeremy. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
Just the guys over there at we are Days of Thunder now. Speed Clinic is gone, so I'll get that updated. So
fair enough.
Hopefully they'll be in there tonight, and we'll do a little practice.
All right, Jeremy. Well, again, good luck next week at Chicagoland. Thanks for talking to us.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Jeremy Paris, your race winner here at Dover. Next, we're going to pull Drew Blaze, driver of the number 1, the LSR machine, into the broadcast booth and get a word with our runner-up, Drew. It's Steve and Zach. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Zach. Drew, congratulations. P2 finish here at Dover. Job well done. You had the pace. I saw you mount a charge there late. You got close to Jeremy, but then the wheels fell off. I think maybe you burned up the tires. What was the situation there? Did you have anything for the 24?
I was trying there at the end. I burned them up too much at the beginning of that run. I should have backed off a little more at the beginning of the run and kind of warmed my way up to them. But yeah, even if I would have got there, I feel like it would have been tough to pass with the tires the way they were. But hats off to him, man. That was a good run and a good decision by us, I guess.
Well, that was really my next question. We kind of asked Jeremy the same thing. I mean, it came down to that late caution, put you guys within I think it was about a 20, 25 lap run, so it seemed like everybody was going to be able to make it. But what was the thought process to taking tires versus not? Again, Brett Guzik, a dominant driver here tonight, he decided fuel only, and the top 4 finishers went with tires. What was really the factor that made you go, all right, I'm going to take them?
Honestly, it's just my experience with this league every week. It's been a lot of green flag racing, and we haven't got that many cautions. So I had put my faith in these guys, and it just takes a little bit of gambling. It seems like I'm doing every week. It's just a gamble whether it's going to fall my way or it doesn't. And that's kind of how it's been. But it's kind of a good way of racing, a good strategy game, and yeah, it's an overall fun time out there.
Certainly keeps it exciting. Nicely done here, finishing P2. Next week, we roll into Chicagoland. At least somebody's racing there these days. How do you feel about your shot next week?
I'm pretty good at Chicagoland. Pretty good at mile and a half overall, so looking forward to it, and we'll do some practice. Unlike this one, we didn't practice for this one much. So, yeah, we'll get out there and get some laps and get our data ready and see if we can bring home a checker flag.
All right, Drew. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, the other thing, Lonestar Racing, Garza Law Firm, the Dent Zones, Fahey Race Wrap, Mike Fahey, Justin Johnson, all my teammates over at Lonestar Racing. Great group of guys. Thank you for putting on the broadcast, you and Milla here. And I want to personally thank Milla for not being out here and kicking my you-know-what.
Yeah, Millet's here for free tonight. We're not even paying him.
Hey, well, better in the broadcast booth, I guess.
Well, Drew,
Oh, yeah, man.
Again, nicely done. Congratulations, and good luck next week at Chicago.
I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Too. Drew Blaze, your second place finisher here at Dover. This one I'm looking forward to as well. Mr. Mike Fahey. We'll pull him up into the booth. Fahey, it's Zach and Steve in the booth. You got us?
I got you. What's up, guys?
Fahey, welcome back, man. A strong run. Good to see you out there for starters, but third place finish here at Dover. I know you love this place. What was the strategy decision making like? I know we asked the top two about it. Was it just follow Drew Blaze, do what he does, or did you have your own thoughts as to what you wanted?
It was pretty much all luck. I don't think I had any strategy. I'm only running these 3 races. I'm working swing shift now, so I haven't been able to race a whole lot, but like you said, this is one of my favorite tracks. I've never really had good luck here, but I love the track and kind of just went out there and everything fell into my favor.
Last race of the season for you, really?
Next week will be the last race of the season. Yep, I'm only doing the 3 races.
That's too bad. But either way, it's good to see you back in some form or fashion. It was a nice run for you here tonight. I wouldn't call it luck. Yeah, luck helps, but you still got to put yourself in position for that luck to pay off. Job well done. Who do you want to shout out to before you get out of here?
All the Lone Star Racing teammates, you guys for putting this on, all the family and friends for watching, and yeah, thanks for coming out and supporting us and watching the streams and watching this race.
Is Chris watching the race? I didn't see her in the stream chat.
She might be. I think she was doing a little celebratory dance a little while ago, so we'll see. I need to get another. I need to get a 1 in front of this 9. I think though. I don't know how I'm digging the single-digit number.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got somebody else in there. I think it was Randy Coaching or Coop. I don't know how to say his name, but he's got the 19. How'd that happen?
So I wasn't planning on running anything, but I just decided to take 2 weeks of leave out of the blue and figured, you know what, I'm going to be doing nothing. Might as well run a couple races. So I said, well, I'll take the 9. It's close enough.
Well, it's good to have you around, and we'll see you next week. Congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike Fahey, your third place finisher here at Dover. Always good to hear from Mike. His mom, Chris Fahey, always jump into stream chat with us. Hopefully she was watching tonight. We haven't heard from her in a while, but let's take a look here at our official race results in the books. Jeremy Paris, Drew Blaze, Mike Fahey, the top 3. Justin Johnson, a solid top 5 finish in 4th. Brett Guzik, 5th place is good, but I'm sure he's shaking his head at it. It just came down to tires or no tires, and, well, he went with fuel only and paid the price, unfortunately. Did a great job maintaining that top 5 position over PJ Cox in 6th, who did have 4 freshies underneath him and wasn't able to come up and pass the 5th place finisher of Brett Guzik. Chris Goins finishes in the 7th spot, which means I beat Zach in the picks tonight. Chris Watkins was 8th. Brian Shepard, 9th. 10th went to Kevin Winker, last week's winner. Dominic Rossi was 11th, Chris Klein 12th. Dan Storm finishes 1 lap down in 13th. Pretty good, since I think he had some connection issues at the very beginning. He was a lap down very, very early on. I think the cautions fell just right for him. So he finishes 13th. Brandon Domain 14th after contact with Brett Guzik early. He finishes 1 lap down. 15th, Randy Coaching. Scott Beardmore 16th. Kevin Grettenberger 17th. Timmy Stubblefield 18th. Mitch Howell was 19th, Sean Roberts 20th, 21st Ken Blackburn, Tim Tokarski 22nd, Ed Marshall 23rd, Jonathan Arnn finishes 24th, David Dufour 25th, Derek Welch out of this one early as well after hard contact on the backstretch, 26th, and then 27th, Kyle Morrison, 110 laps down. Out of this one very early, but sometimes that's the way it goes. Thank you guys all for watching. Ken Couch, look forward to seeing you back here next week. Thanks for being in the stream chat. In the meantime, if you guys haven't already done so, check us out, youtube.com/@HBRTV1. Give us a like, follow, share, subscribe. We got to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. But the likes are really important. Those are good things to do. Like every stream, because the more likes it gets, that algorithm kicks in, and, well, some fresh eyeballs get to see the broadcast. They get to see the league. It's a win-win for us all involved. Also, check out the website, hbrtv1.com. We're doing our best to try and update the best that we can. I'm only one person here. I don't have a staff behind me, but it's got all kinds of good stuff. You can find the live there. You can find some race pictures. I've even got some logos now for you iRacing painters. There's not a lot, but as I've said before, if there's an oddball logo or really just one that took you a difficult time to find and you want to throw it somewhere to make it easier for you painters to find it later on, let me know. Send it to me in Discord. We'll get it added to the website as well. We do appreciate that quite a bit. Lastly, I want to thank Zach Millett for jumping up here on a volunteer basis, just kind of hanging out with us and helping us in the broadcast booth tonight. Always a better broadcast when we have Zach up here. So, Zach, thanks for being up here, man. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely, buddy. Anytime.
Well, with that, that's going to wrap it up from Dover Motor Speedway, now a SMI property. No longer, was it Dover Raceway? What do they used to call it? Dover International?
I don't know. It sounds weird. doesn't it?
DIS. It does sound weird. And it took me only a little bit to get used to the Dover Motor Speedway part of it, but I digress. It is what it is, folks. Tune in next week. Chicagoland Speedway. Oh, never mind. We'll be in the Glen. Sorry.
High five.
No broadcast from us. Again, it might be tape delayed. We'll talk to Justin Johnson about that and see if he's on board with that. Might want to save the money. We'll see what happens. It's okay. Either way, we're good with it. We're going to be having a good time in the Glen. Thank you guys for tuning in. We do have 2 broadcasts, though, still next week. Monday, the IROC Challenge Series, and then Tuesday, the PFR Sports Car Series from Circuit of the Americas. That should be a good one as well. Tune in for it. Only 2 left. We'll be back after vacation, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.